Hello, everybody, and welcome to blockchaingamer.biz's weekly roundup for the week ending the 9th of May. Unfortunately, only me this week. Jenny's not feeling very well, so we're going to rattle through the news of the week, which actually, maybe because we're starting to hit summer, was a little bit quiet. Apart from obviously major things like Bitcoin breaking through $100,000 again. So that's always nice to sort of set up the week. In terms of blockchain gaming news, however, we're sort of looking forward to what is going to happen next week. So the big news this week was that Maple Story N is going live next week. So on the 15th of May, that game is going live. It's the first release that's part of Nexon's very ambitious Maple Story universe ecosystem, which has a few different moving parts. Maple Story N, which is going live next week, is a PC game, a 2D PC MMORPG. Obviously, as we've discussed in previous weeks, Maple Story is Nexon's sort of founding IP, so very beloved, very successful, billions of dollars of revenue over the last 20 years or so. So no small thing to bring that to blockchain. And I think it's fair to say that Nexon have taken a sort of quite balanced view on how they're going to do this. They've launched now their own Avalanche-based L1, and they have a sort of they've done various play tests, and they are sort of I think sort of confident that they have a system that is not going to blow up in the same way that many systems in blockchain blow up, certainly when they have the number of users that we think Maple Story N is going to get. So in particular, they got this idea of, they got sort of two currencies, and one sort of a more sort of off-chain, on-chain currency, and then one is a on-chain currency, but it's sort of as much as they can, they've made it non-speculative. So we haven't got too many details about how that actually works yet, or it's not. I don't understand that in my own head, having not played the game yet. Obviously, it's not gone live, so we'll get a better idea when it goes live, how the sort of the combination of loads of, probably hundreds of thousands of people trying to play the game, and how when that sort of momentum meets a blockchain token ecosystem with some sort of value attached to it, that can often be a bit messy, but we'll have to wait and see. And we got a bit of an idea this week about how demand is looking, maybe at a sort of second degree level, when Nexon and OpenSea did a free mint. So it's a free mint, one per wallet, so probably a lot of sort of multi-wallet bots attacking it, and you just paid for the gas. So you weren't getting anything. It's called a scroll. I think it feeds into some sort of other sort of NFTs you can get, which are more. I mean, it's sort of accessory. They're not sort of really utility NFTs. But that has had over 800,000 sort of mints. So that's how many wallets have been interacting to create these NFTs. As I say, they're not really valuable in any way, but it sort of gives some idea of sort of level of interest that's involved in this game, which has been in development for over 2 years. Certainly, sort of publicly been talking about it for over 2 years now. So it's quite a big deal, and there's still a little bit of confusion about if it's supported globally. There seems to be some. So certainly, the playtests were geo-locked. There still is some uncertainty about whether it's going to be available in sort of globally. We wait and see how that sort of plays out. You can actually pre-download the game, so it's about, I think, 22 gig, so not massive. Seems to be a lot of demand on day one. I couldn't get it to work, but you can if you go to the website, you can sort of create an account and then pre-download it to get ready for the big day. So I guess this time next week we'll be talking a lot more about sort of first impressions and how that's been going on. Other thing, just to sort of pick up on, that we spoke about last week, which was Pixels and its new staking system. So that's been live for a week, and actually the first rewards have been given out. So I'm not going into all the detail, but basically Pixels, the game, has the token called Pixel, and it's been trying to work out a way of sort of using that as a sort of a net positive marketing tool. So that previously it's sort of been giving out a lot of Pixel token to players of Pixels, and the majority of them have just been spending it. And so obviously the price of Pixel token has been dropping. So it's pretty much been ever since it sort of launched, or a month in from its launch, it's just gone down and down and down. It's actually hit a sort of bottom now. Then it could go down further, obviously, but it's up a little bit over the last couple of weeks when there was mention of this new staking system. So basically, you have this currently, at least, you get the Pixel token and you stake it. You stake it against one of the 3 games that uses the token, which is obviously Pixels or Pixel Dungeon, or Forgotten Runeverse. So you stake your pixel against that token, against that game, sorry. And then there's currently there's a sort of fixed amount of pixel tokens that are given out as rewards every month. And over time, that fixed amount of pixel rewards will be varied depending on how much pixel is staked for each game. So at the moment, the main Pixel game gets the most rewards, but over time that's going to change. The other interesting thing to note was that Pixel Dungeon actually, for some reason, not quite sure why, was giving out its rewards. It's giving out its rewards weekly. So it's different sort of cadence. It doesn't seem to be actually live yet on Forgotten Runeverse, which is a sort of game that's earlier and sort of going through its sort of launch of the Pixel token within its own game. So it's not really live yet. But actually what happened was the first sort of allocation of Pixel tokens from Pixel Dungeons was released, and there was only 1.1 million Pixel tokens staked for Pixel Dungeons, and there were almost 300,000 Pixel tokens given out as rewards. So you basically, for every 3 tokens you had staked, you got 1 back as a reward within a week. So that was good for people who did that. Now, obviously, everyone's noticed that, and there's been a lot more staking of Pixel tokens into Pixel Dungeons. So I think it's gone up about 5-fold. So obviously, that's going to reduce the rewards in ongoing months. But that's sort of the point of the system: is it's dynamic, and the more Pixels staked in different games, the more allocation they get. So there's a sort of a dynamic sort of reward system for people to stake their value. It's going to get more complicated into June when the vPixel token comes out, and you can only withdraw your Pixel token depending on your sort of, or you basically have to pay a farming fee. So you pay a fee for taking Pixel out of the staking system. So that'll be something to talk about next month. But at the moment, they're sort of gearing up for that. So those are the 2 sort of interesting things. I guess the headline stuff. A few other sort of small things to go through. So the game on Sui, the shooter game on Sui Society, Anxiety, should say, it's doing a drop with Adidas next week for some skins. So they're just actually skins. They're not. They're sort of skins. The avatar characters that Society dropped on Ethereum haven't been moved to Society to the Sui blockchain yet. So it's interesting because it's Adidas, I suppose. So we'll see how that plays out. So they're $130 for that's the price for those skin packs. Society, hasn't minted out that many NFTs, so it's doing about 2,500 next week. So we'll see how that goes. There is lots of talk about stable coins in general in crypto at the moment. And there was mentioned that Playtron, who actually do the OS for the Sui Play PC sort of a gaming portable that's coming out later on this year. It's launching its own stablecoin, so that will be coming to Sui not till Q4 actually 2025. But interesting to see. We have seen in the past people trying to do gaming stablecoins, but not really with any sort of actual scale or any sort of proper sort of momentum. So we'll see how that plays out. But we seem to be getting stablecoins generally as a sort of primitive in crypto. It seemed to be really making headway. So that's I'm sure we'll see a lot more around that. The sandbox has got a week, 2 weeks left, maybe. Something. Where are we? No, it was just about a week left on its alpha season 5, and today the Teletubbies have gone live. So interesting, I guess, for some people. So Teletubbies sit now alongside Care Bears and the Smurfs. Obviously, lots of other licenses as well in the sandbox, but Teletubbies are live. And then, obviously, as there always is, there was some mention of AI agents this week. So Goat Gaming launched its sort of first agent called Amy. Doesn't do too much at the moment, but the idea there is they're later on in the year selling their NFTs, which are also using the same protocol. So they are basically, you will be able to have your own agent and supposedly it's going to earn money for you and all that sort of stuff. So launching its Amy agent, and you can play games against her. And the idea of that, it sort of demonstrates how some of these AI agents may work in terms of earning money. Obviously, playing against other people or agents, and Goat Gaming is sort of like a sort of 1v1 sort of a winner takes all sort of wagering platform. So we'll get some idea how that works, and also Move to Earn platform Sweat went multi-chain. So originally it was on the Near blockchain. Now it's gone to Ethereum and BNB and some other blockchains. And it's actually launched an agent called Mia, which is actually supposed to help people to sort of move their crypto around. So it's sort of like a sort of UX abstraction agent, which is sort of slightly sort of weird in my view, and not really at all mentioning that it would encourage you to do more exercise, because the point of Sweat is the more you walk, the more steps you do, the more you can earn. I mean, that's the very broad concept. There's a bit more to it than that. But you kind of think the agent would be encouraging you to be more active, to earn more of the Sweat coin. Well, there's Sweat coin and Sweat token, so it's those two off-chain, on-chain stuff. We won't go into all that. But yeah, more of that happening. And I'm sure we'll get a lot more agent stuff, because just agents are clearly everywhere. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, this week. So we are looking forward to Maple's story next week, as the big thing we are looking forward to. And I think it will be, certainly that's in the top 10 sort of most anticipated games on everyone's list. I think it's clearly probably in the top 5. It's a massive IP, and hopefully they've taken their time over it. A lot of demand, so we'll look to see how sort of careful they have been, and what levers they have to pull if things start to go awry. We hope it goes well, but see you next week.